forget.
If Iona makes it back on, great. If not, I'll give her. I'll catch her up with stuff.
We'll have the recording.
And then I'll just put you guys on mute so that the video stays on me until the right point. Claire, you'll have to unmute yourself before you start once we get to that point. Okay, I'll just let people in. Good afternoon. We've got a lot of people joining us today, so I'll just give them a few seconds all to come in. Okay, good afternoon and welcome everyone to our Scotland Loves Local Glasgow Gift Card webinar. Today in kind of double quick time, because we appreciate you've all got a lot of pressures on your time. We're going to give you a quick update on the Scotland Loves Local programme, the gift card, and specifically what's happening in Glasgow City Council area over the course of the next few days, and so talk you through some ways in which you and your businesses can ensure that you benefit from the ability of local people to spend their gift cards with you. So if I may, I'll just share my screen and we'll start the short presentation. It's always good to start at the beginning, not at the end. So thank you for joining us. We've had a fantastic response to this webinar and also the one we had last week. So hopefully we'll be able to run you through and give you some useful information for you and your business to set out the agenda. So the Glasgow scheme outline, I'll give you a short commencing information on that shortly. We'll then explain about the Scotland Loves Local campaign in general terms. We'll explain the Scotland Loves Local gift card and the background to that, and then all the specifics that you and your business need to know about the Glasgow disbursement scheme, and in particular how you can get ready to benefit from that. And then at the end, we'll have hopefully about 15 minutes or so for question and answers. On the screen, you'll see at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the Q&A function. If you're able to, if you have a question you'd like to ask, feel free to type it in there. There's also a chat function, which, to be honest, works much the same way. And if you want to use that, you can do. But Q&A is probably easier for us to manage. We'll collate all the questions until the end, and then we'll deal with them in a kind of Q&A format. I should explain that today with me we have Claire Slipper, who's going to explain about the Scotland Loves Local campaign. We've got Alex McCrindle from our IT partners MyConnex, who will set out the background and the potential of the Scotland Loves Local gift card. And then Claire will talk in more detail about the Glasgow disbursement at the end. And then we have colleagues from Glasgow City Council. Pauline Wallace is with us, and we can answer any questions specific to the Glasgow scheme that you may have. So the Glasgow scheme outline, what's happening and when. So Glasgow City Council is sending out almost 85,000 gift cards. Each is pre-loaded with £105, or will be loaded with £105 in value. And those cards are going to households in receipt of council tax reduction, which was announced and delivered on the 1st of June 2022. Those cards can be spent anywhere in the Glasgow City Council area, with businesses who are registered to accept payment by the Scotland Loves Local gift card, and we'll talk a lot about that later on. And the cards, crucially, just from your diary planning point of view, that the webinars is well planned time-wise, because the cards will arrive during the week commencing the 15th of August, which you will surely will not have missed you to say that's next week. So this is all happening quite quickly, but not to worry if you haven't already registered. There's still plenty of time for your business to register. So, Claire, can I pass over to you just to give us a background on the campaign overview? Claire.
Thanks, Peter, and hello everyone. Thanks for joining this afternoon. So to give a really quick overview of the Scotland Loves Local campaign, this was a campaign that was launched by Scotland's Towns Partnership at the height of the pandemic in July 2020, with a clear call to action, which is to think, choose and to spend locally. The campaign has been a multimedia campaign that's utilised press, online, radio, broadcast and social media in the 2 years since its launch, and it continues to pick up coverage and momentum in the time since we launched. A major part of the approach since the start of the campaign has been to closely involve business improvement districts, wider stakeholders that are representing businesses and businesses themselves in order to push out the key message. And obviously that message, which is around localism, equality and post-pandemic resilience, is a message that does resonate really strongly with communities across Scotland, which is why we have seen such strong support for the campaign. So we just move to the next slide. As I outlined, it's been a multimedia campaign that's reached a wide audience across the country. So we've benefited from 4 rounds of STV advertising, radio promotion across every region of Scotland. We've featured over 1,700 times in print and online coverage, and we continue to receive a lot of traffic to the campaign webpage, which is lovelocal.scot, and via the hashtag and social media, which is hashtag Scotland Loves Local. So you can find out some more about the campaign if you visit our pages online. Let's go to the next slide. So as I've outlined, the campaign's roots were very much about recognising and rewarding all the good that local businesses were doing in their communities at the height of the pandemic. But as we look towards the longer term, there's clearly a major opportunity to influence positive change in communities across the country, really to put localism at the heart of all that we do, and in so doing, make our communities fairer, greener, more sustainable, and more enriching for the people who live and work in our communities, and therefore protecting local jobs and enhancing local services. So as we look towards the future, really we have an ambition to continue building partnerships across all of Scotland's economy sectors, from our town centres out to rural parts of Scotland and our islands too. And to do that, we will continue to work closely with government, local authorities like Glasgow City Council and other enterprise agencies, ultimately hoping to influence long-term behaviour change so that Scotland Loves Local becomes more than just a campaign, and it's essentially just a statement of fact. So a key part of how we will do that is through the Scotland Loves Local gift card, and I'll hand over to Alex just now, who will talk you through the features of the initiative.
Can we have the next slide, please, Peter?
Should have it, Alex.
I'm sorry, it's just not quite come through to me yet, but I'll just get started anyway. So the Scotland Loves Local gift card was launched just in the end of 2021, and that was really to build off of what Claire was saying, boost the local economies and really put bodies back on the high street after a difficult year where businesses were sort of struggling to know whether people could come in or if they couldn't. We really wanted to ensure that there was a real driver for getting people back out into their local businesses and keeping that money on a local basis. So each of the 32 regions in Scotland has a fully supported gift card programme, and that's delivered by MyConnects. So any business is able to access the scheme and register for free, and there isn't any fees at all for participating. As long as your business could already accept a MasterCard payment, you'll be able to accept a Scotland Loves Local gift card. So at the moment, there's well over 4,000 businesses who are already signed up to accept the payments, and that spans across a multitude of sectors. So the gift cards offer limitless local choice, and it really gives people the option to spend where they want and support their favourite local businesses. And in terms of using it in amongst the Glasgow project, the cards are used for sort of multi-purposes. So they're very inclusive, as it means there isn't any stigma attached to the people using the cards, as they're used in projects such as this for disbursement of funds to low-income households. They're used in your standard sort of gifting at Christmas, birthdays, holidays. They're also used widely as staff rewards and could be pinpointed for use for helping specific business sectors such as hospitality, which there was a real focus on after the pandemic, just due to the difficulty that they had in operating during this time. So, as I said, at the moment, the cards are circulating across all 32 local authorities. And when people are going out to spend the cards, 43% of the gift card recipients have made a purchase at a new business. So it's driving people into your businesses where they may have not particularly had the opportunity to do so before. And off the back of this, 22% have become regular customers. So not only is it driving footfall into the businesses, it's creating that repeat custom. And most people, when they're spending their gift cards, they're spending well over the value of what's on the gift card. So they're buying over and above, and they're redeeming those funds in a really quick turnaround. So we expect to see from these gift cards going out in Glasgow, a lot of people out and about utilising them almost immediately and over the months that follow. So at the moment, as well as the gift cards that are being dispersed by Glasgow City Council, the majority are bought directly online from the Scotland Gifts local website, and this means that people all over the world could order the cards. We've had purchases both local and international, and as well as that, there's a specific service for corporate businesses who may want to order on a bigger scale if they're using them for staff rewards, for example. And when people get their cards, they're able to spend, as we said, at any local business that's chosen to register to accept the gift card. And on the Scotland Gifts local website, they could view these businesses on the map. There'll be a business listing that redirects out to your website as well. So it really gives you the opportunity to showcase your business on another platform absolutely free of charge. And just to pick up again, if you've already got a terminal that accepts MasterCard, you're able to register to accept the gift card. There's no additional software that needs installed or anything you need to do once you've completed the one-time registration. That will be you set up for the duration, and you'll be ready to see some new customers walking through your business.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, to get to the specifics about the Glasgow arrangement, back to you, Claire.
Thank you. So as Peter's already outlined in opening, Glasgow City Council formally approved this disbursement scheme in June with the purpose of dispersing support funding to those who are most in need in the city. And in effect, this equates to an investment of almost £9 million in the local Glasgow economy. In practice, it'll mean that almost 85,000 households across the city will each be sent a gift card, which is valued at £105. And eligible households will be those that have received council tax reduction as at the 1st of June 2022. So clearly the primary ambition here is largely to support low-income households with the current cost of living challenge, which I'm sure you'll all be very aware of. But clearly there are wider ambitions here too. One of the primary ones being that we really do see this as being a multiplier effect for local economic growth. And I think Alex touched on some really compelling statistics in her segment just earlier on. We also see this as a really important investment in local business and supporting long-term business recovery and resilience moving forward out of the pandemic, and obviously becoming part of the bigger brand around Scotland Loves Local as well. So we'll run through some of the finer details in the next few slides, but you can find a fairly comprehensive Q&A online at glasgow.gov.uk/loveslocal, and we can circulate that URL after the event as well. So in terms of the finer details, as we've touched on, the cards will be issued in the post, and they'll be landing on doorsteps from Monday, which is the 15th of August. We anticipate that, sorry, just before I move on, recipients will need to complete a short online activation before cards are ready to use. But after that point, we anticipate that recipients will likely spend the cards fairly shortly thereafter. They will be valid for a year after they have been activated. Gift cards can be spent in any registered business across the city and redeemed against goods and services, whether that is goods to help assist with the cost of living crisis or discretionary purchases too. So we do see this as a big opportunity to provide a boost to local business. We have over 700 businesses across Glasgow already registered to accept the card. And as Alex has outlined, it is free of charge to sign up, and that there's no cost attached for businesses to accept the card. So we do encourage as many of you as possible to be part of this scheme. Just skip to the next slide. So in terms of how you sign up, the good news is that it's really easy and quick. In order to do so, you just need to visit the website lovelocal.scot/Glasgow. And you'll see on there a very simple form to fill in. Once you've done that, the gift card team at MyConnects will be in touch with you to do all of the rest. And so it really is as simple as just filling in the form, and we can get you ready to go within a few business days. And in terms of how we can help you promote the fact that you're a part of this really innovative scheme, what we will then do is list you on our website as being a business that accepts the card. And that website is being pushed out to all recipients of the gift card so they can see that they can spend their gift card with you. You'll also be sent a pack of assets via email, and this contains a number of materials for you to use in your business to advertise the fact that you're part of the scheme. So it includes social media cards, an animated video to use on social media or in any newsletters if you do that sort of thing, as well as posters for displaying in your staff rooms in communal areas, explaining to your staff how to take payments using the card. We can also supply window stickers for you to display in your windows to let customers know that they can spend their gift cards with you. And you can contact our team about this or any other query that you might have using the email address that's detailed on the slide. So just very quickly, in summing up, I suppose if there's 3 things that you can do to ensure that you get the most out of this scheme, the first would be to promote your participation in store, in your shop front windows, on social media if you use it, and by word of mouth, and we can help you to do that. Secondly, to ensure that all of your staff, not just managers, know that you are accepting the card and taking part in the scheme and understand how to process the transaction. And finally, to tell all your customers that you are accepting the gift card and that they can spend with you using email lists and so on and so forth to make sure that, that they know the good news there. And finally, just as I've outlined, our team at Scotland Loves Local are here to support you in doing all of this. So if we can provide you with any assets to help you get the word out, then we're very happy to do that. So I think that's it for the forum presentation. I'll hand back over to Peter.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Claire and Alex. Hope that was helpful. So I mean, it's obviously a big topic. It's a big challenge for the economy in terms of continuing to drive customers, old and new, into your businesses. But hopefully the Love Local card will do that twofold job of helping support people when they need financial support, but also doing so in a way which benefits local businesses across Glasgow. So just another reminder, if you have any questions or queries, feel free to drop them into the Q&A or chat box, and we'll work our way through those questions as we do. So I'll just take them in turn and answer each. So Angie Sandhu, what are the eligibility requirements? I suppose Angie, you probably mean who receives the card. Pauline, do you want to take that just to confirm the eligibility requirements for receiving a card?
Apologies, but I just unmute. Yes, within Glasgow, each household in the Glasgow city centre council area who were in receipt of council tax reduction as of the 1st of June 2022 are eligible for the gift card, and they will be sent that gift card of £105. It will be sent to the named council tax account holder at that time, so there isn't an application process as such. We have identified those that will receive the card from the council tax reduction, and that will be sent out automatically.
Great, thank you, Pauline. Sorry, I didn't spot that you'd answered that in the chat function. However, I think useful just to go through it. And then Olivia Bell saying, my boss advised me that he's registered my hotel at Ibis Styles Glasgow Central. How can I check this before I re-register? I suppose the easiest thing would be if you go on to the scotlandgiftslocal.com website, Olivia. Then you'll be able to see the list of registered businesses on there. Just bear in mind there is a small lead time between registration and appearing on that website. And I'll maybe just pass over to Alex just maybe to confirm what that timeline is, Alex, between the point at which Olivia's boss may have completed the process and appearing on that website.
Yeah, of course, no problem. So it can take a maximum of 5 working days, although it usually is quite a bit quicker than this. But once your business is linked and live, you get an email to confirm that that's the case. And at that point, it'll give you a link to the website so you could go on and see your business within the listings. I could have a look on the website at the moment and I could see that Ibis Glasgow City Centre, which is at 220 West Regent Street, is the only Ibis that is currently registered. So hopefully that is your one, Olivia.
Great, ideal. Hopefully that answers your question, Olivia. Thank you very much for it. Emily McDickle asks, could you share these slides with us? Absolutely, we're very happy to do that, and we'll send it to everyone who's registered for the webinar. And there'll also be a recording of the webinar available as well. Kim Bisley asks, do you simply swipe the card as you would a credit or debit card? How do you receive payment? Alex, that sounds like one for you.
Indeed. So yes, that's right, Kim. The gift cards are processed just in the same way as you would any other card payment. So they are in fact preloaded MasterCards. So you would key in your transaction as normal and the customer would swipe it and the funds are deducted straight away. So the funds move into your business in the exact same way as well. There's no middleman or no delay in process, and you would receive them in the same time as you would any other MasterCard transaction.
I think one of the things that's maybe just worth pointing out, because I know people almost or some observations are that there must be some sort of trick to this, but you know, not only is there no cost to registering, as Alex explains, there's no deduction from the point at which you process it. So if the transaction's for £10 and you put the £10 credit card through, then it's £10 will be credited to your account. Just whilst we see if there's any further questions coming through, maybe Pauline, if I could ask you, what about restrictions on eligible businesses? Some businesses on the webinar who think, well, am I entitled to register? What are the cans and can'ts of that?
It's very, very wide. The only restriction for a business is under any type of gambling. So other than that, if you're food, hospitality, retail, services, products, all other sectors are eligible. We are looking for the business to have a presence in Glasgow. So if you like, you would have a bricks and mortar presence for customers. In saying that, you may well also trade online. That's absolutely fine. Most companies do now trade online, but the only absolute exclusion is gambling.
Great. Naomi Sullivan asking, just for the benefit of everyone else, are the cards mailed or emailed? Just to be clear, they're hard copy cards, so they are credit card sized items, and they are sent by hard copy. Those are being posted on Friday and will arrive during the course of next week, potentially as early as Monday. So it's like a hard copy card, and I think, as Claire explained, there's a process that the recipients have to go through when they receive it to verify that they are the eligible recipient. But once that's done, which is a very quick process, they can then immediately go out and start spending on their card. And we expect normally the benefit to be quite front loaded, so we wouldn't expect it to be too long before you would start seeing transactions coming through your business. Well, that's what we'd hope. There's no further questions coming in, so I think I'm trying to think if there's any questions we got last time which were particularly relevant. I suppose that if where there are a business that has 2 or 3 different outlets, Alex, how is that handled? So if I have a business but I'm in Govan Hill and I'm also in Springburn, how does that work?
If you've got multiple premises within Glasgow, we would ask that you register each premises, as they would appear as a different business on the website. So you would have several listings for each of your different locations, but you're absolutely able to register as many venues as you have in Glasgow. There's no limitations on that, and we would encourage you to register all the locations that you have, just to get the maximum benefit from the cards going out. So I have seen another question pop up there, Peter, and it's again about how payments are processed. So if the card doesn't have a chip on it, how would the business then process the card? So as with any other MasterCard, it's got the 16-digit MasterCard number on the front of the card, as well as an expiry and CVV, so you can manually punch the details into your machine and still put your payment through. That would be the way that we would recommend that you do that. There is a really robust set of merchant FAQs on the lovelocal.scot website, and if you're ever unsure on payment processing or anything along those lines, there's some really good content on there that should take you through to the answer you require, and if not, you can get in touch directly with us at MyConnects.
Someone anonymous asking, are there gift cards for this webinar? Which I'm slightly unsure what that means. But suffice to say there aren't, but everyone will start receiving those at the beginning of next week. Does it work with contactless? Addy Mitchell asking, no, it doesn't. As Alex says, there's a different process for processing it, but basically any of the current technologies for accepting cards, whether it's iZettle or any of these new technologies, they all work. It's just a question of and if there's any queries in your business about exactly how your scheme works, then feel free to contact us. We can send you some information to make that as easy as possible for you. So I think we've come to the end of the questions. If there are any further questions that you think of after the event that you'd like to ask us, just a reminder that info@lovelocal.scot is your contact email address. We will either deal with them at the Love Local campaign side, or if they're specific to the Glasgow City Council scheme, we can pass them on or redirect you appropriately. So, but maybe the easiest point of contact is info@lovelocal.scot. And just to confirm, Marcia, that yes, we will share the presentation and we'll email that out to everyone at the end, probably later on this afternoon or early tomorrow. Okay, if there's no further questions, which I don't think there are, can I just thank you very much for taking the time to join us. It's a really exciting, if not groundbreaking initiative in Glasgow, and we hope it's a big success, both for those recipients, but also for businesses across the city. And all the very best to all of you in maximising benefit for your individual businesses. Thanks very much for attending, and we'll hopefully you'll see the benefits coming through next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.